What's up, everybody? It's your boy DOXForever, and this is ArtIsLife 101, where we talk about tips and tricks in engineering and photography and video that you need to know. Welcome. This is Move Media Studios, and today I want to talk about one of my favorite things, or something I get asked about a lot, and that's vocal saturation. I'm going to go over some of the saturation plugins that I love to use on my vocals when it comes to rap, R&B, rock and roll, whatever. I also want to go over a couple things that my boy Manny asked me about, and that's creating space with vocals. How do you make a vocal sound up close and personal, or larger than life, like Billie Eilish, Travis Scott? You know, Billie Eilish is up close in front of your face. Travis Scott is wide and a lot of space. And we're gonna go over that as well. So first things first, I'm gonna tackle this question about creating space with vocals, the Billie Eilish type sound versus Travis Scott type sound, right? So Billie Eilish, believe it or not, when you listen to her vocals, uses minimal effects in terms of space, in terms of reverb, in terms of delay. Her vocals are really up close, breathy. And this is what I was talking about earlier in terms of saturation. It seems like just from my ears as an engineer, they use a lot of cool saturation plugins on Billie Eilish just to give her vocal more body, and make it feel like she's right in a room with you, very intimate. So less reverb, or no reverb at all, and no delay on your vocal. If you're looking for that up close and personal sound, you want to look more for saturation and compression. You want to create a spacey sound with a vocal, similar to Travis Scott. It's all about space, and the way you create space in the mix is with your reverbs and your delays. Now, they have different types of reverbs and different types of delays, and depending on how much space you want your vocal to have, you can toggle through the templates, I guess the options for your reverb. Like, you have a room reverb, you have a hall reverb, you have a cathedral, you have a bathroom reverb. All these reverbs emulate the sound of a room. Usually, if you want a large sounding reverb or large sounding vocal, you can go for a large sounding space within the reverbs. It says cathedral or large room or small room, and then you can just pretty much add how much reverb you want on a vocal. And another cool trick to do with your reverbs is when you set them up on your bus, you can put a spreader plugin right under the reverb to spread the reverb even more left and right, rather than just having it be a regular sounding reverb that's creating space already. You can create even more space by putting maybe like a doubler from Waves, a doubler right under that reverb. And also, creating space with delays combined with the reverb is going to give you even more space. So, okay, say you choose a room reverb on a vocal, and it gives you a lot of space, right? Then you can actually make another bus with a separate delay plugin that's routed to your vocal, as well as the reverb is being routed separately on a bus to your vocal. And then you can pick something like a 1/4 delay, right? And just have that, stretch out with a lot of feedback. So once the delay hits after the reverb, it sound like it's stretching for a long period of time. So you have this reverb, right? And then you have this 1/4 delay with a lot of feedback coming in right after that. So now you're just creating a space that sounds atmospheric based on those two plugins that you're using, reverb and delay. Now try it out. Try doing a room reverb, a large room, right? And bust that towards your vocal, and then try adding a 1/4 or a 1/8 delay right under that plugin, right, with a long feedback tail, and see how that sounds, and get back to me and let me know if I'm crazy or not. So for saturation, one of my go-to plugins, which I love the most out of all the plugins, and I ain't gonna say that, but it's just this one I use a lot. It's called the J37. It's a Waves plugin, and it's an emulation, and it just sounds amazing. You know what I mean? It's a slight difference in the sound. Only people who really have engineer ears, such as myself, really hear a difference. But it just thickens the vocal up in certain levels. And now, when you see formula, these options give you a little bit more warmth in the low end. This one gives you, for my opinion, gives you a little bit more warmth in the mid, and this gives you a little bit more warmth in a high end. And this is a tape machine, so it's an emulation of a tape machine. So you have different speeds of the tape, which will change the sound as well. So you can use a combination of any two of these things. I just usually stay within the formula and the bias. Sometimes the speed, but not so much. Just something real quick run and gun. I'll pick like 811 and leave it on normal speed. Or sometimes if I want a little bit more, I wanted to cut through a little bit more, I might go +3 for the speed. And I really use +5 unless it's a female vocalist that I want to really have it cut through and not really have too much body in the low end, but more body in the high end. I'll put a +5. But try this plugin out. It's amazing. I guarantee you're going to love it. You're going to hear a difference, but it's going to be a slight difference. Like I said, these plugins just create warmth and saturation in the vocal. Another one of my go-to plugins, other than the J37, is the Double Lock. It's a Sound Toys plugin. This is a distortion plugin. It is amazing. One tip for using this plugin is when you do put it on a vocal, you want to adjust the level of whatever track or aux you put it on. You can't leave it at normal level once you throw this bad boy on, because it's going to boost the level of the vocal a lot. So mix with the track knob and also with the mix knob in order to get a perfect sounding distortion on your vocal. Sometimes it'll give it a little bit more body. Something you can really go crazy with it and boost the crunch and the crush and really crush your vocal and add some darkness to it and give it a lot of body. Or you can go really slight and just add more thickness to the overall vocal with this plugin. And I love the fact that it has a mix on it. You can put 0 to 10 just to add a little bit of distortion on your level, and you go back and forth with the volume. And as an engineer, use your amazing ears and mix it all together. But this is another plugin I like to use, the Double Lock Audio Level Destroyer from Sound Toys, which is amazing. And I got another Sound Toys plugin because Sound Toys is just amazing. I love their plugins. This Decapitator. Now this plugin is a saturation plugin. That it isn't distortion. It's going to add a similar vibe as a J37, and I love it. The fact that it has the high cut and the low cut and the tone. These options are amazing. All the options on here, like really, I use everything on this plugin. There's nothing I don't touch. So the drive gives you a little bit more of a distorted sound, and then you can go through different options of what type of saturation you want with A, E, N, T, and P. So those are all different types of saturations that you can use and put on your vocal and see how it sounds. I love it. It's amazing, and it's similar to the J37, like I said. And last but not least, this is a stock plugin, ladies and gentlemen. The last plugin that I like to use, and it's called SansAmp. I learned about this plugin early on. It's a stock plugin. Usually when I get a stock plugin, I overlook it, but I saw somebody use it in a session, and I love the way it sounds. It has this really crisp, natural sound about it, and it adds a really nice, crunchy distortion to your vocal, and it's similar to the Double Lock, the SansAmp PSA1 gives you a lot more options than the SansAmp does. That gives you preamp, leveling, buzz, punch, crunch, drive, also low end. If you want to add more low end or less low end, the same thing with high end, more high end, and take out some of the high end, make it really bassy. And then you have it says level, but this is really like the mix, So that's my plugins to saturation. I hope you guys try these out and enjoy. They're amazing. They're gonna up your mix to another level if you're looking to give your vocals a little bit more body. Try every one of those plugins out, and I guarantee you, you will not fail. It's your boy DOXForever signing off. Move Media. Bow.